Hey everybody, welcome back to my video. I'm sorry for not posting for a while. I just had a lot of schoolwork to do and stuff. Other than that, guys, thank you for the support on the last part. That was amazing. I was not expecting for that many views. And this is What If Deku Had the Quirk Predator Part 2. So let's not waste the time and let's get right into it. We start off with Shigaraki slow clapping and coming toward both All Might and Izuku. As All Might asks who Shigaraki is, Shigaraki responds by saying he's a subordinate of All For One. As All Might is in shock, Shigaraki lunges at All Might, but Izuku jumps right in front of him and Shigaraki touches Izuku's arm. Izuku's arm falls off and Shigaraki thought that he won the battle, but Izuku just picked up his hand and put it right back on. As Shigaraki was confused in what just happened, he kept on attacking Izuku, but Izuku kept on regenerating. As Shigaraki was even more confused, so he knew that this wasn't a battle that he'll be able to win and retreats as Kirigiri opens a portal and takes Shigaraki back to his villain lair. You guys are probably wondering how All For One and Shigaraki knew where All Might and Izuku were. If you remember, in the last part, this tiny bit of the sludge monster escaped, and there was also a tiny bit of the sludge monster in Izuku. So the sludge monster was able to track Izuku down, and he told All For One, as All For One thought this was a perfect chance to attack Izuku and All Might and get rid of One For All permanently. But their plan backfired because they didn't know that Izuku had a regeneration ability. As Izuku asks All Might who All For One is, All Might tells Izuku everything about One For All and its past. As Izuku realizes what's going on, Izuku says that this explains many things. As All Might asks Izuku what he means. As Izuku says, when he ate All Might's hair, he gained 2 more abilities called Black Whip and Float. As All Might hears the words float, he remembers Nana Shimura and tells Izuku that this must be the true power of One For All. As Izuku continues, he tells All Might that there are more quirks, but they're locked to him. As All Might is confused, he tells Izuku that this must be the past successor's quirks. The next day, Izuku goes to UA to take the entrance exam. He does decent on the written portion, and then he goes to Present Mike's orientation for the robot situation. As Present Mike's explaining this, Izuku doesn't mumble here, so Ida doesn't say anything. So they go to the place where they take their exam, and Present Mike yells go. As Ida starts running, Izuku's much faster than anyone else there, and he's defeating every robot that he sees. Izuku accidentally put too much power into one of his punches, and he destroyed everything in the background that was behind the robot. Izuku was surprised by his own strength, and so was everyone else, as everyone else was wondering what this man's quirk was. As Ida looks at Izuku, knowing that he was much faster than him from the start of the exam. As Ida wonders in how fast Izuku is, then everyone hears the 0 Point robot, as they hear a scream calling for help, as Izuku, without even hesitating, runs toward the rubble, lifts the rubble up and picks up Uraraka and puts her in a safe zone. As he says, "You're welcome," and runs back and jumps as high as he can, as he didn't even know how high he jumped, but he was still focused as he does an axe kick and slices the robot right down the middle, cutting it right in half. As everyone is astonished by Izuku's strength, and so was Izuku, as Izuku felt like he was relying too much on One For All. As Izuku thinks of ways that he might be able to use his own quirk instead of just One For All. As Izuku wonders, he thinks what if he uses his slime ability plus his predator skill to gain new skills. As Izuku piles more and more robots on top of the 0 Pointer, and then he turns his body into slime and engulfs every robot there. As he engulfs them, he gets 2 abilities. He gets Artillery and Armory. As Izuku wonders what this skill is, he turns on the skill Armory for his whole body to be covered just like armor. Then he turns on his skill Artillery for his hand to be turned into a minigun. As Izuku shoots it, he realizes that it's just the same as the robots. As Izuku wonders, what if he puts One For All into it? So he shoots a bullet that was engulfed with One For All, and it destroys a building that was right there, completely gone. as President Mike yells at Izuku to stop and that the exam is over and that he's not allowed to use his quirk, as Izuku apologizes and leaves. Everyone was shocked at Izuku's strength and wondered what his quirk was. Even Bakugo was shocked at Izuku, because he didn't know how strong he got over the 10 months. Then he scowled in anger, angry that Izuku was able to beat him. As the rest of the week was going on, Izuku got his letter from UA. It said that he passed and he got 300 villain points and 200 rescue points. As the All Might hologram continues, it says that no one in history of UA has gotten this many points, and that they're still gonna put him in the same class as the others, but he's gonna be pushed to his limits. As Izuku hears this, he gulps and wonders how hard they're gonna be pushing him. As Izuku goes to the school next day, he sees a giant door and wonders if there's giants going to the school. As Izuku opens the door, he sees that Ida is scolding Bakugo for disrespecting school property. As Bakugo sees Izuku, he rushes at him and is about to explode him, but Aizawa came in at the right moment and stopped Bakugo's quirk from activating. As he does this, Bakugo's hand just lands on Izuku's face. Aizawa tells everyone to go sit down in their seats and that he's very disappointed in them because it took them 15 seconds to quiet down. Then he tells everyone to put on the gym uniforms and go outside. As they go outside, they see a 10-ton ball just waiting there. As Aizawa tells Izuku to pick up the ball and throw it, Izuku casually picks up the ball and chucks it, and it goes around 1,000 meters, as it creates a shockwave and blows everyone back. Aizawa tells everyone that they need to throw a ball, as everyone looks at Aizawa wondering if they have to throw the 10-ton ball. Aizawa assures them that they only need to throw a small ball, as Bakugo yells at Aizawa, telling him that he could probably throw the 10-ton ball. Aizawa looks at Bakugo as in a smirk and tells him that he probably couldn't, and hands him the small ball, and then Bakugo throws it with fury and gets 700 meters. As Bakugo scowls, thinking that he got 700 meters with a small ball. As Izuku's tests were much harder because they were usually weighted and other stuff were to make it harder on him. But he still came in first place, even though he was having a much harder time than everyone else. And still, Aizawa still does the, if you come in last place, you're getting expelled. So Mineta is still getting expelled, so he's not gonna be in the story anymore. So now we're gonna skip to the hero versus villain training. And so what happens here, All Might comes in saying, "I'm here," and explains the heroes and versus villains training. And Izuku's costume is going to be an amalgamation of both his costume and Rimuru Tempest's costume. Now let's just get on with the story. So what happens here is, when I said that the school was going to go hard on him, I'm going to say hard. So what happens here is that Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka are the villains, and Izuku is the only hero. So now what's going to happen here is Ida tells Uraraka and Bakugo that they should all stay behind to guard the bomb because it's more strategical. But Bakugo interjects, telling Ida that he wants to go fight Izuku. But Ida interjects, telling Bakugo that none of them have a chance of beating Izuku. He's too overpowered. Bakugo didn't listen to Ida. Bakugo still rushes at Izuku, trying to defeat him. But Bakugo isn't dumb, so he releases his 2 grenade gauntlets, which creates a massive explosion. But Izuku had a plan for this. He makes a massive punch which redirects the explosion completely, but Bakugo was defenseless against this, so Izuku had no other choice but to save Bakugo. He runs in past the explosion, going super fast, and punches a giant hole in the wall where they can hide. As Bakugo saw this as a perfect chance to beat Izuku, he lunges at Izuku ready to attack. But before even Bakugo could notice, Izuku goes right behind him and gives him a swift neck chop right to the neck, defeating him. As Izuku saw this as a perfect chance to go retrieve the bomb, he goes upstairs ready to defeat Ida and Uraraka. As he enters the room, both Ida and Uraraka made a trap for him, as Uraraka used a big chunk of the building and floated it up in the air, and Ida kicked it with his reciprocal burst and smashed it right into Izuku as fast as they possibly could. As they did this, Izuku landed right in the wall of the building and made a giant crater, but Izuku just crawls out of it and brushes himself off. And before Ida and Uraku could even blink, Izuku runs up to the bomb, grabs it, and makes a giant hole in the ceiling while he jumps up in the air and lands outside with the bomb in his hand. Okay guys, I think this is where I'm gonna leave it off for now. And I'm sorry for not posting for a while. I just had like a lot of schoolwork to do and stuff. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna link my Discord server in the description. So please go check that out. You guys can give me what if ideas, criticism about anything, because I feel like I need a lot. And basically talk about anime, manga, just hang out, just like that's what it's for. So please go check it out and join the server. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys are ready for part 3 of this what if. So other than that, I hope you guys have a good day.